Hi, my name's Tricky Nick Marinos. My record is 3-1. I'll be fighting in my hometown, North Vancouver, October the 2nd at the Pinnacle International Fighting Challenge, number 9, for the welterweight title.
So you're fighting at IFC 9, which is International Fighting Challenge 9, and that's going to be in North Vancouver. So this is the first time you get to fight in your hometown against somebody who's from your hometown as well.
Yes.
You're fighting against Murray Jorgen. I'm not sure if
Sogan?
Sogan.
I think it's Sogan. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I would guess it's Sogan.
Now, Murray Sogan is currently undefeated. I could only find a record of 1-0. And he's an instructor at Elite Kickboxing. So he teaches kickboxing. They also teach jiu-jitsu at his school. That's about what I know about him. How do you feel about this fight? Do you know anything else that I don't know?
No, that's pretty much all I know about him. So he is an instructor, and I don't I'm not going to take anybody lightly. You know, he is an instructor, and he has that fight that he had. Apparently was in 2007. Well, if he's still been training and instructing, that's 3 years ago. I know that if I had fought and then 3 years later, I'm going to be way better. So I'm not taking this fight lightly. I'm training hard for it, and you know, and anything can happen. I think it's you know, it's probably going to be a 50% deal here. 50% chance for me, 50% chance for him for the win. So I'm definitely taking it seriously.
You prepare differently when you're fighting in a cage or in a ring?
No. I know it might be a little bit different pushing somebody up against the ropes versus pushing somebody up against the cage. Like, for example, when I fought Clay Ayers, he was really trying to get on top of me and grab me in a good position, but I kept underneath strong with my legs and held him against the cage hard so that I could get into position. With a ring and the ropes, you can't do that because you just bounce off the ropes. So it is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to try to not put pressure to the ropes, but anything can happen.
All right. Now, your first fight in North Vancouver, your hometown, against a guy who's from North Vancouver. Is there still any tickets for anybody else, or is it already all sold out?
No, it is selling out fast. You know, I think it's already 50% sold, and there's still, you know, there's only 3 weeks left. So tickets are selling out fast, but it definitely will be a sold out event. I will be bringing the largest crowd possible to this event, and like I said, I'm gonna be, you know, you're gonna see the fastest, strongest, most powerful, most deceptive Tricky Nick Marinos that anybody's ever seen, and I'm gonna be, you know, fighting my hardest to claim that title because I want to bring it back to the reserve and keep that title at home.
And you're fighting for a belt,
yes.
So there's a lot riding on this particular event here.
Definitely. And
IFC, I mean, as I said, you worked there before. I was there, and they use a classy venue. It's not the biggest of the venues, but it's very classy. Everybody has a table, well seated. It's in the Pinnacle in North Vancouver, a brand new hotel that was built there, and it's in the ballroom. You actually have like a $500,000 chandelier hanging on top of the ring.
Yeah.
So that definitely must make you proud to finally fight at home in a nice venue. And
it does. It gives it that mini Madison Square Garden type feel, right. For sure. Yeah.
So what's next for you? Where do we see you after this fight?
After this fight, I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be training hard with my coaches here at Raw Academy, and I'm going to use this fight and. To slingshot me forward. I'm going to keep progressing with my training. Every time I get into that ring or that cage, I am way better. I'm way stronger. I'm way faster. I have my cardio increases. There hasn't been one fight where I've gotten in and I felt like the same Tricky Nick Marinos from the last fight. Every time I go in, I feel more confident and more ready. And so my next fight after this is I'm going to be looking at some other venues that are out of Vancouver, like maybe in still in the greater Vancouver area, but I'm even looking at possibly the Extreme MMA. I think that you can fight 3 to 4 times in one night.
Yeah, it's an elimination tournament.
The elimination tournament. So I really want to go into something that's a lot, so I'm not going to be going pro right yet. So I want to do something amateur, but it's still, you know, a lot more difficult, because I want to prove to my family, to my friends, to the fans, to the promoters, and to myself that I'm a real contender. And so I'm going to be fighting in something a lot more difficult to prove myself that I can do it.
All right. Now, I've seen you personally fight 3 times, and I know you've had the nickname Tricky pretty much since high school, but I personally don't believe that accurately depicts you, because you're not winning by tricks. You're not winning because you're doing tricky stuff that guys, you're not tickling them or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I think you're ferocious. You're relentless. That's why you're winning, is that you just keep going. You have the no fear factor, as you said it yourself, yeah. But you also have the drive. Would you agree with that, or am I just completely in the wrong thing?
No, it's, see, that's the tricky thing. Right now, I'm going to have everybody believe that that's the only way that I fight. And you're going to start to see through the next fights that I've got a lot more tricks up my sleeve than just being strong and ferocious. So, like I said, I'll be changing up my the way that I fight depending on who I'm fighting. So if they start doing some reversals and counters, I can reverse and counter too, and you know, maybe I'll go for like a tricky submission in this next fight.
All right, next fight, October 2nd, IFC 9, North Vancouver. Looking forward to that. Now, do you have any sponsors? I mean, I know you have sponsors, so go ahead. Please tell us who's been helping you out. Who do you want to shout out?
Okay, I definitely want to make a shout out to Jesus Christ, because without him, I'm nothing, and I definitely believe that he's been with me through this whole roller coaster ride so far as of yet. And I want to make a shout out to my mom, who's been so unbelievably supportive in me doing this and actually coming out to my fights and watching. You know, like at first she would be worried about, she was worried about me, and you know, and now she's actually out there in the stands, screaming louder than anybody else. I'd also like to thank Noelle Barrett, my girlfriend, who's actually one of my sports psychologists who helps me with my mental game. She's a professional equestrian horseback trainer and horse rider trainer. And I also want to make a shout out to Tap Out for sponsoring me in my last fight, and with the new merger that they're having with Silver Star and future sponsorships with them. Want to make a special shout out to Raw Academy, my wrestling coach Frank Mensa, Paul Kelman, and other future coaches that I'll be meeting here, like Crew Williams and Tony Strong, as well as some of the jiu-jitsu coaches that I'll be training with here, and Mike Weiss with the boxing. I also want to shout out to Cyclone Fighting Arts and Fred Shadian, my good friend, my mentor, and my teacher for the last 17 years. Thanks, Fred. And Top Rank Martial Arts. And what else do I got here? Pewatt Construction. Snake Eyes Entertainment for my walkout song, and Discreet the Chosen One. He's a good friend of mine from Known Well Productions. I just want to say thank you all so much, and last but not least, I want to thank all those kids from Raw Academy. Some of them are BC champs, you know, they're only like 15, 16 years old, but these kids, I look up to them so much. They help push me. Running around, training with these young guys is making me feel young again, and they really drive me when I feel I can't get up. You know, they're screaming at me, never give up, never give up. And in my last fight, those were the words that I heard ringing in my head were from the kids at Raw, and I just want a huge shout out to those kids. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to see those kids rolling around on the mats last week with you actually, and the amount of conditioning, the amount of strength, the amount of drive those kids have, it's amazing.
They are amazing. I love them. I love it here. I love training with them.
Now you look up to them, but they also look up to you in a way. And you were telling me earlier on that having these young kids look up to you, it kind of shaped you a bit more in your personality.
Yeah, definitely. Like having them look up to me is, you know, it's a good feeling too, and helping them see what they could eventually become if this is some type of path that they're looking for, and with all the experiences that I've had in my life, like I can help mold them as well into making, you know, correct and positive choices with their life, and you know, working with and talking with their families and their friend and everything, and help building a foundation on rock, and it's really helping me be a good part of the community.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, believe it or not, we're still fighting at bcmma.com, is the whole stereotype around the MMA fighters, just brawlers and street fighters. And I mean, you came from a street fighting background, and through martial arts, you stepped away from that. And now you're
that's right. That's definitely right. I definitely changed. It changed my life big time. So and anybody out there that has problems with their upbringing, they can take that negative energy and use it in a positive way, and that's what I feel has happened for me. And so MMA is definitely a good venue to channel that energy and turn it into a positive one.
All right, well, definitely a great inspirational story here for us, Nick. I'd like to thank you very much for allowing us to do this interview. Now, if people out there would like to look you up and stay in touch with you, I believe you have a new website that it says just got launched a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you can check out my website at marinosmma.com. That's marinosmma.com. And you can also feel free to add me on Facebook. Just Google Nick Marinos or Tricky Nick Marinos. I have a fan page and I have my personal page, and I'll add anybody. Also, if you're in the North Van area, you can also, if you see me jogging through on the seawall through West Van there, don't be afraid to approach me. I'm an approachable guy, and ask me any questions or even give me a wave. I run through there 4 days a week, so.